So for those of you that subscribe to my channel and have been with me for a while, you'll know that I've been at this for 10 months. Last February 2025, was when I first flew manual FPV. I had spent some time in the simulator. I spent about a week in the simulator, but I remember it well. I looked at my YouTube channel for when I uploaded that video, which I did on the day that I actually flew. So it's coming up to a year. I'm going to do some kind of a personal celebration of my first year in FPV. A little bit of a retrospective look back at all the wonderful things that I've learned and all the wonderful things that I've been able to do. I'm shocked at myself how much I've been able to pick up in just 12 months, and I say that not as a boastful statement. I say it because if you're considering getting into this hobby and you think it's going to be too hard and it's just too hard for me and I'm not going to bother, well, a year in, I'm here to say, number one, I wouldn't say it's easier than I thought it was going to be, because it is hard, but it's achievable. It's definitely 100% achievable. And in my first video, there's a part there that made me think. As I was driving back from flying my first manual flight, I was having a conversation about the DJI Neo and the Avata and how that was going to bring many, many more people into flying drones. And I made a comment about building your own drone, right? And I said that, there are people out there who want to do this, and that's great. But for me to get into it, I was using DJI. Well, I'm here to tell you that that time has actually come.
Will I ever build my own drones? Probably, yeah, I will. But by the time I get to build my own, hopefully I'll know enough to understand what it is I actually want to build, rather than build a Cinewoo, build a 5-inch, whatever it happens to be, right? I'll know what I want to build because I'll know that there's not a DJI product that's going to meet my requirements for that.
I want to build a 5-inch. I want to build a 5-inch that can do two things. I want to use it for long range, so when I go away somewhere, I can fly to the top of a mountain and come back. But I also want it to be capable of freestyle. I'm guessing there's going to be several compromises on the way. And although I've learned a lot this year, I by no means have the skill or the ability or the knowledge, quite frankly, to be able to build my own 5-inch drone from the equipment that's available and choose the right gear. And it's the choosing the right gear. I'm quite confident I can build one, but it's the choosing the right gear that I don't think I'm qualified to make that decision. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what everybody seems to do these days. I'm going to let AI choose for me. And here's the deal. I'm going to go and start up my AI agent, which I'll do in a second. And I'm going to ask my AI agent, this is the type of flying that I want to do. This is the type of drone that I'm looking for. What would you suggest at the end of 2025? Because right now it's December 2025. It's actually Boxing Day. If I were to go and order some stuff now and build this 5-inch quad that I want to build, what would I choose, right? What would be the equipment to choose? Now, in the UK, given the time that it is, it's December 2025, there are some law changes, right, that are coming our way. And it's not going to apply to me till 2028, but I'd like to get a bit ahead, right? So I've got to consider things like remote ID, for example, right? Rather than change it in the future, if I'm going to build it now, I want to choose the right remote ID module and build it in from scratch right now. I may not turn it on, but at least it will be there. And if I choose to use it, then I can. If I don't want to use it, then I can't, right? So without further ado, what I'm actually going to do is now start up the AI agent and let's see where this goes. I have no idea what's about to happen, but I promise you this, whatever AI suggests, that's what I'm going to buy. And then the next video will be after the stuff arrives. I'm going to build it. I'm going to use AI to help me configure it. And I'm going to then, after I fly it, I'm going to take the black box logs, I'm going to download those, and I'm going to see how AI can help me tune my brand new drone. So this is a discovery. You know as much about what's about to happen as I do right now. So let's see where we go. So hi there, how are you today? Listen, I have a little thing on my mind. I want to build a 5-inch quad. Bit about me, I've been doing FPV flying now for 10 months, not even a year. And this is going to be the first time that I'm going to build that 5-inch quad. And I would like you to work with me to help me understand what would be the best equipment for me to buy at the end of 2025. So I'm looking for the top equipment that I can get at the end of 2025 that meets my purposes. But before we start, so my channel name is GrenadeFPV. What I'd like you to do, as this is tradition within FPV, is I'd like you to choose an FPV name for yourself. What would you suggest?
Hello, Grenade FPV. I'm doing great, and I'm really excited to embark on this with you. 10 months is a solid foundation, and a 5-inch quad is the perfect next step. Now, as for my FPV name, I've been processing some possibilities. Given that I'll be crunching data, optimizing designs, and helping you tune the perfect flight, I think Fuse FPV has a good ring to it. It speaks to precision and combining different elements. What do you think, Grenade?
I think Fuse FPV definitely lights my excitement engaging in this process with you. So yeah, let's stick with that. So hey Fuse, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderfully, Grenade. Fuse is perfect, a true partnership. So, as you said, we're aiming for a hybrid 5-inch quad. That means balancing two quite different disciplines: the agility and punch of a freestyle machine combined with the endurance and safety of long range cruising. It's a thrilling challenge. What specific features are you most excited about?
Well, it's got to be strong, right? That's the key thing. But also light. It's that balance between strength and lightness. Also, the propellers. I'm quite prepared to change the propellers for if I want to go long range, I'll put different props on. If I want to fly freestyle, then I'll use a set of freestyle props. So a motor that is supports transition between the long range aspiration and the freestyle aspiration would be absolutely great. Another thing that I'd like you to bear in mind is that in the UK, the law is changing at the end of 2025. I know that I'm not going to be required to use remote ID until 2028. I believe that it is. But what I like to do is future proof myself by putting that into the build right now. So is there any questions that you have for me about my flying style, about what I really want to get out of this drone? Ask whatever questions you think are going to be helpful for you.
A fantastic brief, Grenade. Strength and lightness are the classic conundrum, and future proofing with remote ID is a very pro move. It keeps the build relevant. To help balance those design goals, I have a few clarifying questions. 1. Flight style priority. You're willing to swap props, but what percentage of your flights do you envision being freestyle versus long range? That will dramatically influence the motor and frame selection. 2. The power system. Since we're looking at cutting edge components, are you committed to a 6S battery setup, or could you be open to exploring Li-on packs for maximum endurance? The X factor. Is there a specific feature or capability you've always dreamed of having in a quad? This is where Fuse can truly innovate.
Let's deal with the batteries first. Yeah, I'm totally happy to use lipos for freestyle and Li-on packs for my long range. I'm quite happy to change the props, as I said, and my flying style percentage wise, I suppose at the moment I'm doing more long range cinematic, or actually not long range at the moment because I don't have a setup that's capable of it. But I'd like to take my cinematic style with me when I go on holiday and find some nice mountains and some beautiful scenery to film. there aren't that many good freestyle places near me, but I am going to start traveling to them, and I fully anticipate getting through some propellers. So the motor choice is going to have to be able to support the different propellers as well. So that's, I think, an important thing to bear in mind.
That clarifies things perfectly, Fuse. So we're aiming for a cinematic feel with travel in mind and a motor that can transition seamlessly. This means a balanced KV motor that can handle both efficient, larger props for cinematic shots and higher pitched ones for freestyle punch. Let's talk motors. To bridge that freestyle cinematic gap, we need a versatile KV. I'm thinking around 1950 kV would be ideal, allowing for powerful propulsion with bi-blade props for long range and still giving you the punch you need for freestyle with different props. Does that kV range match your expectations?
Could I get away with the 1750 kV? Do you think that might work? Because I get a little bit more range, I think.
That's a clever thought. A 1750 kV is definitely more long range oriented. It would provide better efficiency for those cinematic flights and maximize your flight time. The only trade off might be a slight reduction in outright punch for aggressive freestyle, but with the right prop selection, we can certainly mitigate that. So, yes, 1750 is a strong contender. Are you comfortable with that balance for your build?
Yeah, I am. And, if I find that I need a little bit more punch for freestyle, if I start doing more freestyle, I guess I could change the motors out at a later date.
To address your X factor consideration and make this truly unique, have you considered the DJI 04 system? It aligns perfectly with cinematic quality and modern builds. And for future proofing with remote ID, we can integrate a compact module that meets those 2028 regulations right now. How does that sound?
That sounds great. I actually, in my mind, I've already decided that I'm going to use the DJI 4 Pro unit. That's the unit that I'm going to use. So let's start with the frame, because that is the foundation of everything, right? So given the requirement for the frame, what options do I have?
Perfect. The DJI 04 is an excellent choice for that cinematic quality. The frame is indeed the cornerstone. Given your need for strength without too much weight and the hybrid demand, I'd suggest the Volador 2 is an excellent choice. It's highly respected for its T700 carbon fiber, which gives you that crucial 6mm arm strength you're looking for, while keeping the weight optimized. The design is specifically geared toward minimizing resonance for clean HD footage with the DJI 04, and it has a very sleek, integrated aesthetic. It perfectly encapsulates the hybrid vision, tough for freestyle and stable for cinematic long range. So with the Volador 2 frame and 1750 kV motors, we have a solid foundation that balances your priorities. Next up in the design journey, we should look at the FPV FC and electronic speed controller, something that can handle the power and offer flexibility for tuning. Any specific brands you've enjoyed in the past?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Speedy B. I use the Speedy B controllers in my fixed wing FPV, and I also use the Speedy B on. I have a little Fly Times 85 that I fly, and I just kind of I appreciate that brand. The documentation is always good. It's always easy to understand. So what has Speedy B got? Now, bear in mind that I want to have big, strong ESCs. We've said that we're going to go 6S, so it has to be 6S compliant. Yep. So what do you think there?
Speedy B is a fantastic choice, Grenade. Their documentation is community loved, and the wireless configuration is a game changer for field tuning. For your 6S hybrid build, I'd point you toward the Speedy B F7V3 stack. The F7 flight controller is powerful enough for complex navigation needed for long range, and their accompanying ESCs often provide 50A or 55A continuous current, perfect for those powerful motors. Plus, they usually have robust filtering for that super clean video. Sound good?
That sounds brilliant, actually. Yeah. Can I buy the ESC and the flight controller as a single stack unit? Do I have to buy them separately? Can I buy them as a package, I think is what I'm asking.
Absolutely. The SpeedyBee F7 V3 stack is typically sold as a package, pairing the F7 flight controller with the BL3250A ESC. It's designed to integrate seamlessly, which will make your build much easier, especially for your first one. Plus, it comes with connectors for the DJ04, keeping things tidy. How does the integration aspect sound to you?
It makes perfect sense. Absolutely. That's the one we're going to go for. So right now we have the Volodar 2 VD5 frame. We have the SpeedyBee F7 V3 stack. And I was going to go with the motors, the 1750 kV motors, and the motor size would be what, 2306?
That configuration is shaping up beautifully. And yes, 2306 motors are an excellent pairing for that 1750 kV. That combination strikes a perfect balance, offering plenty of torque for the hybrid demands and ensuring great efficiency for your cinematic long range missions, while still delivering a satisfying performance for freestyle. So, to recap, we have the robust Flyfish Volador 2VD5 frame, the powerful SpeedyBee F7 V3 stack, and balanced 2306 1750 kV motors. It seems like our design conversation has successfully mapped out the core components for the ultimate hybrid rig, all future proofed for 2028. Does this final design plan sound good to you, Grenade?
It does, but we haven't talked about the GPS and the remote ID yet. I remember watching a while ago a short video on the new Drone BID unit, which was a combined unit that had it was GPS unit and it had remote ID built in. Is this something we can use? So I just have one unit that would do basically GPS and remote ID in one unit. That's designed for the US market. Will the UK implementation of remote ID, will it satisfy the UK requirements as well?
That's a brilliant idea, Fuse. A combined GPS and remote ID unit would streamline the build perfectly. Regarding the newbie drone BID unit, while it's designed for the US, UK regulations also focus on direct remote ID, which broadcasts information directly. The key is that the unit must be compliant with the UK standards, especially by 2028 when it becomes mandatory for legacy drones. I'll quickly check if that specific unit is certified for the UK market.
Brilliant.
Excellent to hear, Fuse. So, based on the UK Civil Aviation Authority guidelines, your specific drone will need to broadcast remote ID by 1st January 2028, as it will be considered a legacy drone. The newbie drone BID V1.1 is definitely a suitable option, as it combines GPS for features like GPS rescue with integrated remote ID functionality. It should provide the necessary compliance while simplifying your setup. Are there any final components we should consider?
Oh, yes. We got to look at the props and we've got to look at the batteries. So let's think about props first. Now, remember, I'm quite happy to change props based upon the type of flying I anticipate doing, right? So I'm looking for a recommendation for freestyle props that go with those motors, and I'm looking for a recommendation for long range props. What do you recommend?
That flexible approach is perfect for this build. For your freestyle sessions, I'd recommend the GemFan 51433 props. They offer excellent punch and responsiveness, great for technical maneuvers. For your long-range cinematic flights, the HQ Prop 5X4X3 is a fantastic choice, providing maximum efficiency and smooth video. Now, for batteries, to match the 6S system and balance long range and power, I'd suggest a 1300 to 1500 milliamp LiPo. This should give you the right weight for agility and sufficient capacity for distance. How does that sound?
That sounds great for freestyle, but what about long range? So we talked about using a Lion pack for long range. What sort of milliamp hour should I be looking for that?
Ah, yes. For the Lion packs for long range, you'll want to look at something with considerably higher milliamp hour. A capacity in the range of 3,000 to 4,000 milliamp hour would be ideal. This will provide the necessary flight time for extended exploration, while still keeping the weight manageable for the Volador 2 frame. Does that milliamp range work for your long-range goals?
It absolutely does. What sort of flight time do you think I'll get with that configuration and that Lion pack? How long a flight time do you think I'll get, given gentle flying? So flying out a distance, filming something, and then flying back.
With that configuration and the 3,000 to 4,000 milliamp Lion pack for gentle cinematic flying, you could potentially see flight times of 20 to 30 minutes or even more. It really depends on factors like wind and your exact cruising speed, but that setup is designed for endurance. Are you happy with that potential range?
Totally happy with that. I didn't expect it to be that high. Of course, the proof is in the pudding. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of those recommendations that you've got. I'm going to go and order some equipment. And then when it arrives, we'll have another session where we can talk through the build. And then once it's built, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to help me tune it. So, we have to put it into beta flight. We have to get it configured. Then when we fly it, I'll give you some black box data and you can help me tune the quad. How does that sound?
That sounds like a perfect plan. I'm really excited to see your Volador 2 come together. A build discussion and beta flight configuration followed by black box data tuning is the ideal way to maximize your hybrid's performance. Just let me know when your equipment arrives and we'll schedule the next session.
Yeah, I got some spending to do. It's going to be fun, right? I'm looking forward to that. So I will catch up with you when I get my stuff. Thanks very much. You've been really, really helpful. And I'm going to get what you recommend. Okay, so how do we think that went? I think it went quite well. Don't worry, she's gone away. She's not here anymore. So I'm going to order that stuff. I might do some thinking on the props. I had someone recommend to me getting some HQ Ethic S3s, some of the watermelon props, thinking that might be the way to go for the freestyle. And someone recommended to me some Gemfan 5126 two-blade props for the long range. Love to know your thoughts in the configuration. But props are an easy thing, right? So if I get the wrong props, then I can just go and buy some. So I'm not sure I'm going to go with her recommendation on the props, but I'm definitely going to get that frame. I'm definitely going to get that stack. Definitely going to find some 2306 1750 kV motors. And I'm probably going to use the Gemini system on Radio Master, the 900 megahertz and 2.4, because hopefully that will give me the best chance of getting my drone back at a long range. So I'm going to order some stuff now, and as soon as it arrives, then I'm going to do the next version of this video, and let's see how helpful AI can be in getting me through that process. So thanks for listening, and I hope you found this useful. And hopefully this will inspire you guys to maybe have a conversation with your favorite AI and see what it can come up with on your behalf. It's there. We might as well use it, right? All right. I'll talk to you soon. Take care now. Bye.
Take off.